Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today on Tamper with a Plan. So I'm running a little behind, but I need to get my January planner set up, and that's what we are going to be working on in this video. So let's kind of look at everything that's on here because I want to talk about a couple of these items. But first we're going to go to the first section that we're going to set up. Okay, so as always, you will probably hear my husband in the background. His voice carries and he speaks very loud. Now previously we did decorate these dividers. Really I taped these on and I have some paper clips just to kind of help hold. I also think they're cute. And I did end up using a little magnet bookmark type thing on the top here. And that makes it just easy to kind of grab and flop over. And also keeps this corner secured. I don't know, there's probably a better way to do all of this. So I'll play around with that, you know, throughout the year. But this first planner in here is the Bible planner. Oh, well, let's go back a little because if you haven't seen any of my videos, this is a Laurel Denise planner that I have uncoiled and put on discs. So that was kind of a process. I do have a setup video of that on the channel if you want to see. It's like Laurel Denise to discs or something like that, I think is the title. I'll try to link it below. So I punched the cover using my alligator punch, which is this We Are Memory punch, and I will also have that linked below. I've been using this like crazy and it's still going, but I do think I might have to buy a new one maybe within the year because we're punching a different cover for each month. And what is in here in this planner is 1 month's worth. But let's just talk about like how I plan is, look at that beautiful pocket and design from Laurel Denise. So you might recognize this as Lizzie's Stroll. I know I'm kind of going everywhere. But I have several planners in here and I like them all together. So I'm not one of the gals that wants like a spiral over here and a bound over here and a disc over here and I grab one, write in it, put it aside, grab another, write in it, put it aside. I did try that method and what ended up happening is whatever planner was open, let's just say we'll open this one for example. Look how cute this divider turned out. I know it's not perfect. It's like, you know, when you handcraft stuff. This is like an old tab spot or an old tab spot. It looks a little off, but it's cute enough for me. So this first section is project, you know, wellness is here, and then I have goals. And my goals are going to be some wellness and some like work, some home, maybe some family type of goals. So for this section, if I have, let's just say wellness open, okay, and then I think of something that I want to do for work, okay, well, before I forget it, I write it in the wellness, and this is what I was doing at the end of 2024. I would write it in the wellness, and then it never ever got transferred to the work, so it just ended up getting lost. So I didn't want to do that anymore. I prefer one big planner that has all my sections in it. So that's what I'm doing now. And at first it was bothering me because there's actually so many little planners in here. But after the end of the year, so I tried a couple things out in 2025, but after the end of 2025, when I just put it all in one like this with the Laurel Denise on discs for November, and then I'm using the mini for December, but also with, you know, all the sections in here. I really, really like it now. So now I feel like I've really found out what is going to work. So that's if you're new to my channel, just kind of like an introduction of what's going on. Now, if you've been here before, you know, yes, I did that. I have punched the Laurel Denise planners onto these discs and then actually added some supplemental planners in here. So Laurel Denise has inserts and there are a lot of nice inserts. Now her inserts do not work as well on a disc system that I've made for myself. So let me see if I know I have that somewhere, hold on. So if I'm using it on a coil like this, her inserts are really perfect. So let's see, which one is an insert? This one is an insert. Okay, so it has all these little splits, and I did punch this to put it on a disc system for November, but it has all the little splits. So on a coil, it works perfectly, right? You just pop it on. It's kind of similar to a disc system, a little more effort to pop it on, right? But what happens is when you have something like this, and you can tell it's an insert because it's this reinforced like plasticky edging, But when you put it in the coil system, it does work. So they will work. I'll give you a couple of ideas though. Now you have these split pieces in between. See that? And they're not holding on to anything. So sometimes this would get bent type of thing. It will, you know, loosen a little. I don't like the inserts as much on discs. Now what I could do, because I do have some inserts, and what anybody can do, you can put washi on the edge here and then punch it, and it kind of takes care of that problem. It's just like the same thing you do when you're making your own pages into a disc planner and you punch them in the wrong spot. You can just edge them with washi and punch them again and get them to, you know, work decently, right? So that was just showing her inserts. Now, because her inserts weren't perfect with a disc system, which I created, and you know, her inserts work perfect for her coils. They're really great for her coils. You just have to use only 12 pages. And you can see, like, I have a ton more than 12 pages in here for supplements and inserts. So it still wouldn't have worked for me, which is why I put it on discs. And I know, we'll just get this out of the way. A lot of you gals do not like that. It makes you upset. But I'm gonna do what works for me, and I know a lot of you guys do uncoil planners and put them on discs. So those are two options. Now back to what I was saying, is I grabbed inserts that are actually disc inserts. And for this year, this is my first year trying plum paper. I've seen it for years, right? And I know they have upgraded their paper to not be as slick for now. I don't know, that probably happened in 2025, I'm guessing. So I have this plum paper version, and this is my wellness. It's the only one I have to reday and redate because plum paper did not offer this layout only. There might be one or two more, maybe like some teacher layouts. They do not offer in a Sunday start, even though I would be totally fine to have this is Friday and this is Saturday personally. They don't offer it in a Sunday start. So I still got it because of these florals, and it matches like the theme, and I'll show you that, you know, when we flip through of my planner. But I do love plum paper because there's so much customizing that you can do, and that you can choose a Monday and Sunday start for most of your layouts. Although this is a very popular layout, so I think it's such a shame they don't do it in Sunday start. I really, really hope they someday change this to a Sunday start, because they print it all themselves and they design it all themselves. Like, how much harder would it be to make this Sunday and make this Saturday, Friday, Saturday? How hard? Please just do it. That's my little plea to plum paper, like they're gonna ever see this. Okay, so I don't know, I had the little plum paper example book. So let me find that for a second. So we'll talk about it. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. Okay. So this is the layout I chose. It's the vertical priorities layout. It normally looks like this with all the lines. Now, when I was purchasing, and see, here's the version I have. When I was purchasing this online, like, I was having problems with my eyes, but the lines were actually pretty light. I didn't know that. I don't know. It was like making me kind of like dizzy. It just looked really busy in this section, even though it's super practical to have lines. So I chose non-lines. I did that with two of my plum paper layouts that I got, and I chose the line with these florals. So I have the daily and the florals. Is that in here? It may not be in here. Here's the normal vertical priorities if you don't have the florals with the lines, and then they did one without the lines. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have heard of plum paper. You know that you can customize everything. Let me show you one more thing that I did do. Is you can see in the floral one, it has these sections here. These would usually have a heading, like top, this said priorities, this said to do. You do have to pay a little extra if you want to remove all the headings. This is something else down here. I don't remember what, but all these things you can customize and put things in. I could have put exercise, take vitamins. I could have put that and they would have printed it out for the whole year for me. I didn't want to do that just in case I switched things up, although if there are some things, like I probably could have done vitamins and exercise printed on there, you know, and then maybe just white it out if I changed it. Instead, I just chose to leave it blank. So I don't think it's gonna be too annoying to write it in every week, but just know that you could fill it in. If you kind of know what your focus is gonna be and what you wanna track every week for the year, you can add those in. Anyway, this video is not about plum paper. But I wanted to show you, I got it without the lines, and I did pay extra to have nothing written here and nothing written over there. Nothing written up here. Everywhere there's an arrow you can customize, and they usually have something, like they might have tracker up here on the top, and I just had nothing there. So it's very clean, and I like that. So I can kind of change it up how I want, and I am going to use it for wellness. I think I did a little, yeah, so I have like my steps. I'm going to do my steps up top here. What I do for exercise in this one. Vitamins here. A self-care focus. Coffee on this line. So these are things that I track every day. Food, and then the bottom is going to be bedtime, and then like anything, like maybe like things I do to get ready for bed, like a stretch or something like that. That's the idea right now. All right, all this talk. So the first planner in here, because this is the section that we're going to get ready today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ready the whole planner in chunks, and then I will do a video where I just kind of put them all together so you can watch one really long one in case you want to kind of get your planner ready with me. This is probably going to be pretty long already though. So we'll flip through real quickly, and then we'll take the pages out that we're going to work with. So this first section, like I said, is going to be Bible. I'm going to come back and do this later. So this is the Nancy Laurel Denise, which is a horizontal Laurel Denise. I love being able to see the monthly. I usually write what verses I'm reading over here. And if I add any verses to my normal reading, I can also put those over here. Here I write a verse from the reading, and then here I write a thought about the reading. And over here, sometimes I write a list of people or places or things I want to remember about the different passages that I read for the week. So that's what I do here. Over here, I've done different things. I've done a timeline of like events from the readings, and I usually take it and block it into the how many weeks there are, which there are 5 weeks on this planner. Yeah, 5 weeks. So I do 5 sections for the timeline if I want to do that. I could just do boxes and decorate and put some important people, important places. Same thing over here. I might write some summaries. So that's kind of how I use this. It's like whatever I want to remember. This is kind of my notes section over here. And I just write it down. And I'll reference I reference the verse. I might reference the day as well. Start referencing the day so I can see when I was reading it. So that's the Bible planner. It ends when you turn the page. And if you haven't seen Laurel Denise planners, they still work the same on discs. You just kind of have these holes in between. But you have these little weeklies that you flip, which is so cute. It's what really drew me to Laurel Denise. This is the only planner that I've ever had. It's a favorite that I've ever had. The only planner that I've ever had that I'm just like, oh yeah, everything makes sense because I can see the whole monthly. I won't miss anything from here. And I can see some of the notes that I might want to remember over here. Okay, so that first planner is Bible. Second planner is kind of like a section. And I did kind of cut these up and paste some custom dividers. They don't look great, but they're cute enough for me. This first section is a project planner, and Laurel Denise did have a 4-column project planner. Now it's called the Rose. Actually, I have one. I'll show you. It's pretty great for projects, but it's actually great for a lot of things. This is the 2025 version, and it has really big monthlies instead of this partial monthly with the weekly. So you see how? And then you have 4 columns, and you can write, this could be house project, outside project. Like you could do anything with it. People have done gardens, people, you could do, people have even used this as like their main kind of planner, work, whatever. So they have, this is the actual project planner. But what I started noticing in my mini in December, because I was using the actual project planner for projects most of the year. But then what I started doing in my mini, that's not it, hold on, is I liked having a couple things to do each day that had to do with these projects that were listed. So I listed the projects over here still, and then I fell off, but I tried to write what I did per day on there. We have like per day, like a main thing that I did, and then I wrote my checklist of what to do. So I kind of liked that. I like having a checklist daily for projects. We'll see, because the mini only allowed like 4 things. This is actually pretty big. So I don't know, because I don't want to overwhelm myself with just tasks, right? So I could maybe go back to the Rose. I just don't have it in a 2026. This is an Anne vertical from Laurel Denise. And these pages here don't belong. So if they were gone, it would just, the actual planner from Laurel Denise is the vertical lined with the month here, and this back page. That would be your whole month of January with these little weeklies. Okay, so we're gonna start out like this. I might pick like the project focus up here and then just pick like 3 to 4 things. But what I've been doing in the mini is I choose like one thing from each project, or a couple things from 2 projects or something like that. So I still think that's gonna work, okay? Eventually I could categorize this and be like, I don't know, declutter, clean, something like that, and I could just choose, if it's a declutter section, put what I decluttered from any project, which right now my projects are rooms. I'll put this into 4 sections. My projects right now are rooms to just get ready. To just like finalize like how I want them. We were gonna move, I don't know, we probably still are, I don't know what we're doing, honestly. It's kind of frustrating. But if we do move, the house will be completely ready because all these little projects will be done. So that's the idea for the project planner. Now, oddly, it is in here with the wellness planner, because I do think sometimes when you have a room to exactly how you want it, decluttered, cleaned, all that stuff, it does have to do with your wellness. It's like makes your home like a homey space. But it's also just, I wanted these sections together. For some reason it made sense in my head, and it still does, so I'm gonna leave it. So here in this cover is my first plum paper planner, which we just kind of flipped through. You have all the months here for 2026, which I like. Now on here, so this is my wellness planner, okay? These are the 2 pages, and this is one thing I like about plum paper. You don't have a lot of fluff up here that you have to figure out what to do with. You have a name page, you have your year at a glance kind of thing. This could be like birthdays, anniversaries, whatever here. And then you have a goal page. And you don't even have the month assigned, but you could assign months, right? Then you get straight into your weeklies. But you do have a monthly dashboard too, so that's gonna be useful. And then you get into your monthly and weekly. So we're gonna talk about how we're gonna use all of these, and then we're gonna get it set up. But we're gonna finish this whole section real quickly first. Okay, so we'll jump back. I know this is kind of everywhere. This is how my videos turn out sometimes because I'm just thinking about too much. Okay, so for the next section, I have this big Happy Planner dashboard in between. I also have this lined it up just in case, because as I explained, I didn't get the lined ones. Just in case I want to put some lines here. They're kind of short, you know, so they wouldn't really work. But I could put the checks or something. I don't know. I have it in here. Maybe we'll try it a couple times and see. I can extend the lines. It could be useless and I could take it out. But dashboard, and then I have another Laurel Denise planner, and this was a mini Scout, which is the old portrait planner from Laurel Denise. And let's look at this. It's a mini and it's like a classic size essentially, so it fits in here. And this also, plum paper is classic size, plum paper. So this fits, and this is a goals planner that I'm gonna use as a goals planner. So we'll look at it real quickly, but here I'm gonna have goals, and it's gonna kind of be, the idea is goals for everything. What I was doing before is having like a section in my wellness planner that was goals, but it was always about wellness because that's what I was thinking of when I was in that planner. So these goals, I have 4 boxes here. It's gonna be something like work. I am gonna do a wellness, house, maybe family. So that's the type of thing. 4 sets of goals. A little more elaboration on these planning pages, which if you haven't seen Laurel Denise Planner, she has these sections in her every monthly where you can put some like planning or goals or track stuff. I mean, she has trackers here. So she has that available on all her planners. You just have these extra sections for the month, but they're very open. So you could just decorate it. If you don't want to put anything in there and get specific, you could just decorate it and make it look cute. Now this planner also was spiral. We uncoiled it and we popped it on discs. Next time in February when I do this, I am going to do it differently, so we'll have that in that setup video. But this setup video is already on the channel, and it was a little rough getting these tiny pages perfect so that they weren't too high to touch this disc and they weren't too low to hang out, but I figured it out, and I hope I made a note of it. I think I did, how to do it. All right, so this goals planner, I have room for something here. Again, it could be stickers, anything. I want to put what I achieved on the monthly, and on the weeklies, I'm going to choose like from this section. Like let's just say family and work. That's what I want to focus on this week. And then every day I'm going to write certain things. So the goals are going to be pretty broad, and they're going to have a lot of steps, which I'm probably not going to list out. But here I can write a couple things each day that I want to do for that goal. So that's the idea for the goals planner. Now I'm also thinking of assigning each monthly goal a color. So let's just say I say family and work here, but then I do want to do something for wellness. And wellness we'll say is purple. Family can be orange and blue. Okay, so I'm then gonna just put a purple. Like Friday, I just want to do self-care. I'll highlight purple. I'm talking about highlighters. Highlight purple and then write what I did. So it's still, you know, it's still one of the goals, but maybe not the one I wanted to focus on for the week. But most of my days I want to have like whatever this focus is. But obviously you have to be a little flexible if you're just trying to get goals done. So the broad goals and maybe some action steps will be on these dot grid pages. We'll see. And then up here, I'm gonna write like what goal for the day I worked on and maybe like a little summary. Okay, so that is our first multi-section of the planner. And what I like to call this is the Laurel Denise wrap, where it's on the outside and then I have my inserts inside. And again, you can get inserts on laureldenise.com, on Laurel Denise's website. I will have my affiliate link below and my code below if you want to shop Laurel Denise. So that's the first multi-planner. And this is the one we're gonna set up today. So this next planner section is my main planner section. And again, I think the divider's cute. It's maybe not what I would have chosen for January if I had other options, but I do like it. It says reach for your dreams. I can't even read. Reach for your dreams. And then this is the main section. So what I've done here, I have my boys' homeschool here that I'm gonna block off. I'm gonna put the topic on top, and it gives me 5 sections per day to give them something to do for homeschool. They only homeschool Monday through Friday, so Sunday and Saturday will be like a list of things. Like obviously the trash is on Sunday, maybe a couple other things I want done. Brush dogs usually happens on Sunday. Saturday, after the rest day, there might be like take out the trash or a couple things on Saturday, but probably not. I could just use this as extra planning section or note sections like supplies for the school week, but I do also have this big list for supplies for the school week for homeschool. So that's how this is gonna work. It's gonna be a block layout. This is a 2026 Laurel Denise Nancy planner, which is the horizontal. And if you haven't seen her horizontal, it's like my favorite horizontal ever because it goes all the way across. So this is all Sunday. So she has it set up like where you could have your sections over here, like maybe work and personal, and then here to a to-do list kind of thing, or you could block it off even more. I've blocked this off into 5 sections before for work, but I have a different planner in here for work for 2026. It's another plum paper that I grabbed. So I had to figure out what to do for this. But what I'm gonna use this calendar for, since this is the main planner, is this is gonna have birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, appointments, all over here. So this is the Laurel Denise wrap for the main planner. So the monthly does not have to coordinate with what you're doing for the weeklies, which is homeschool. So I won't write anything homeschool over here on the monthly, but what I will write again is anniversaries, birthdays, appointments, and also I will mark my husband's travel days on this calendar. So he'll be gone like this first week, so I'll mark that on there. So this is the homeschool block layout. Now I have some trackers here on the back of the weekly. All of Laurel Denise 2026 weeklies have trackers on the end of your weekly. So here's your last day is the 31st. You have trackers. So I'm probably gonna use these for one of these other topics because you can see it right now. But of course, when I open this, you can't see it. So we'll see how that's gonna work out. But I do want to make use of these trackers. So here's my second plum paper planner. Love this cover. It's perfect for January. We have the same thing, the name page, 2026 year overview. And now we have these sections here. So I think what I am going to do, since this is kind of the main 3-in-1 section planner, I do think I'm gonna put birthdays and anniversaries here. And that way I can kind of keep track of the whole month because I only have 1 month in this planner at a time. So I can keep aware of the February and March birthdays, you know, type of thing, so that I'm aware, and anniversaries and any appointments as well. So this is gonna be perfect, and especially for things like teeth cleaning, you book really far out, this can be this section. So special dates, dates to remember type of thing. And then I do have this goal section, and because this is gonna be my work planner, I will make this like work goal specific probably. So I might do categories per work topic, and then I have like side hustles, so I might just take one for each That would get me 1 page. So maybe 2 each category. So we'll see how I'm gonna do that. Maybe 2, like up and down, you know, in a row. So we will start to fill this out when we get to this planner. That's not the first one that we're getting ready. And then we have this divider. We have the dashboard page. This is nice. It has birthdays here, but I can change that if I want to. This is kind of a slick page here, so I don't know. I'll have to practice with what I can write on this with. And then I have it just a lined page, which can be notes or some general to-dos. The monthlies, I didn't talk about this enough in the other planner, but the monthly here for work, my work is, you know, I'm a stay-at-home homeschool mom, but I do YouTube and some side hustles, eBay, stuff like that. So I'm gonna list on here, especially for YouTube, like when a video goes live, that will be listed on here. If I have any type of times to ship on eBay, times to list on eBay, that's what this monthly is going to kind of be, like an overview for the whole month of what's going on. So I will flip back to that. I don't really love flipping back to the monthlies, but because this is going to be a main monthly, when I use the Nancy as a work monthly, I really did like it. So we could switch these. If I don't love this in January, I can make this my work one again, because I could see what I'm going to do and I could just add, you know, to the calendar. We'll have to think about that, because then I'd have to make, I think, this one my main, because I need a main hanging out here where I can see it all times. That's how I've forgotten birthdays and appointments and stuff, by not seeing my calendar and just having it only written there. So I do need a main Laurel Denise section, so we'll see. But so that this works well, this is gonna be just the work, uploads and things like that, due dates, ship dates. And then this is my main work. So this is daily plum paper page. It has a timeline, which I do really appreciate time blocking. I haven't had it recently for all of December and only half of November. And what ends up happening is, like, I'm sitting there at like 10 a.m. thinking, what should I do? You know, but when I time block ahead of time, it's very intentional. So I have, like, maybe cleaning. I'll be like, okay, go check your cleaning list, which is this next section is cleaning. Check your cleaning list at 10 a.m. Try to get some of those lists done. Maybe I clean 10 to 12. I'll put clean here. Come here and check some of these cleaning items off. Work, come check some of these work items off. So that's the idea. I did specify the time 9 to 6 because I wanted it to go to 6. When it was 8, I think it starts 8 to 5 is what the normal thing is if you don't customize it yourself. But I did customize anyway because I did not want to add a bunch of stuff. I'll show you again in the layout guide. I didn't want headings at all. So normal headings. So this is essentially this layout without the florals. Okay. And a normal heading would be added to this box. A normal heading could be added up here where the dotted line is. A normal heading could be added maybe here, because this is a little bit of a heading would be here on this long line, and a heading, yeah. So I didn't want any of the headings, so that was a charge anyway to take all the headings off, because they have like a standard layout that they just print if you don't change anything. So if you want to change it, they have to go in and edit every design. So they do a charge, and then because of that, I got to also change the time. I would probably have done the time anyway and left the headings if I wanted the headings, but I didn't want the headings, so I just left everything blank. So everywhere there's a dotted line, there would have been a heading. And then I got to change my own time. So plum paper, super customizable. And you can also, by the way, on their month, choose a Monday or Sunday start on their monthly. So in this monthly, obviously I do Sunday start anyway, but this could be a Monday start where this Sunday, you know, would be back here. So that could happen as well. Very customizable. My only complaint with plum paper is that verticals priority layout. So on this, I'm gonna have my timeline, which is like a guide of my day. I wanna put the weather up here because I used to keep track of the weather and it was really fun. It's just kind of fun, I don't know. So I'm gonna put that there. This is gonna be mostly my work list. And I usually have about 5 things that I try to work on for work. I used to section them off over here into the blocks like I'm gonna do for the kids' homeschool. But what I was realizing is I didn't do something for every section every day, and then it was blank, and that bothers me. Blank space on my planner does bother me. I don't know why. So if I had like a whole week where I didn't work on this one section, that really bothered me. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna have a to-do list. And if I have extra room, I can do a doodle. I can write something really big. I can put like a thought, whatever there. In this little box, I wanna put appointments. Maybe not time specific appointments because I have the timeline, but like I go to lunch with my mom usually every week, maybe every other week if it's a busy. So I will put that like what day, you know, if it's that day. I also do some outings with the boys, so that could be on here too. And then down here's just like an extra list. So I don't know. I could put like a gratefulness down there. So I'm still not completely sure how I'm gonna use these parts, this part here. Did I have let me see if I have a page that kind of, I think I have a sticky note that might give something, give an idea, or did I not? I think I removed it because I wasn't sure. Okay, so anyway, we don't have a sticky note in here. They're just main and work. But I have plenty of space. This is a daily page from Plum Paper. Love the florals and love how it matches my wellness. So I don't have to decorate this, and I probably won't decorate this because I have this to decorate, this to decorate. These weeklies, I'm gonna put a couple stickers on, even though they're my kids' homeschool. And what I started noticing too, my planner is big and thick, and I was thinking my kids would come in here and look at their school for the day. They don't really do that. So I still tell them, which is fine. But I did grab, let's see this. I made this cover out of a Happy Planner. I did an 8-disc, and this is a half letter size planner. I had some already because I did She Plans earlier in the year. She Plans is this really clean, beautiful layout. I really love her layout. And what I didn't think of is I could have purchased it again. Well, I don't really love printing out my own planners. And instead of buying the Plum Paper, I could have popped this in here, you know, as a half page. You know, this isn't the exact size, but as a half page, and had daily pages here and just like a little short, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like a little insert for Laurel Denise, so I could have done that. But I don't have her 2026 planner, She Plans. I only had it through December of 2025. But I didn't think of that at the time, and I really, with the 30% off of Plum Paper, oh my goodness, their Black Friday sale, 30% off. And then you could still use a different discount on top of that, like Amanda's Favorite or something. Any of the affiliates. Be Planner Happy is who I think the code I used. I don't remember it now, but anyway. So you have the 30% off plus their discount. Insane. It was a really good deal. So that's when I got these matching sets of dailies. So I am still glad I got this, but maybe next year. Well, anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about. Boys homeschool. So I did grab these half page Tulle, T-U-L, dailies. And I've had these in my stash for, I guess, a month or so, right? Maybe two months. Whenever they came out, they were $10 for the whole year to have a daily page at half letter. And I wanted to try to see if they were gonna fit in my mini, because for a minute I was really gonna try to use the mini. They don't fit, they're too big. But they do fit, again, in this. This is the real size, so let's check it out. This is what a real half letter is, not what the one I cut from She Plans. Okay. So maybe for next year, because this is only $10, definitely cheaper. It's not as cute, but definitely cheaper than the Plum Paper. But I am happy to have this year. So for next year, I might, if I'm doing a timeline, do these and pop them in if I'm doing the big, but actually, we'll talk about that later. So what I have is these extra pages. I was thinking I could put this in my purse, and if something comes up, have it as a carry with you planner, but I don't really go that many places. So then I thought, okay, since the boys don't actually come into my big giant planner and flip through and find their school things. Now I'm still gonna put in here my details, like what number worksheet, how many pages, page through, you know, which pages, type of thing in here. Extra list of supplies that I wanna get, because they do have some projects. I'm still gonna put that in mine here. I like to have that, and I've always done mine, and then oftentimes I've done at least a list, usually a list on a notebook for them. But I thought this could be useful. Okay, so I guess, you know what, gals, we're not gonna set up a planner in this video. I'm just deciding that because we're talking about so much right now. So we'll do the setup in the next video. This is still kind of just talking about the layout and going over nothing's really changing, but a couple things are being added, and this is one of them. So this is what I'm thinking for them. This can be on the counter. and they can come and look at it all day, every day. I want to put their school here, PE down at the bottom, a to-do, which would be like break down boxes, take out the trash, change filters, things like that. Priorities would be only if they have an appointment, like somebody has a doctor's or dentist appointment, or if we're planning to go somewhere that day. And then over here, if there is an appointment, I can write it at the time, but I'm gonna do kind of a general time block for them. And let's see, I'll do it on the sheet plan side. Let's see, do we have an empty one? That's for today. We'll do it like this. Okay, I had something to order, but I did witch hazel, which I did not order yet. So for them, I'm gonna do something like, just to keep them, so let's say 9 a.m. it can be breakfast and to-dos. So this would be like their personal to-dos. Okay, so till 9 a.m. they have breakfast or to-dos. So this is what I'm thinking of doing for them. Then at 10 we're gonna start school, and we'll probably go usually 12. Okay, so school, they can usually get everything done within 2 hours, and this is going to be and PE. Okay, and then after here they're gonna have like a free time, we'll say until like 5:30. So it'll be like free time and mom's to-dos, which are gonna be, you know, down here. And that's gonna be theirs blocked off there. And then here, it's gonna be, they have TV time about 5 to 7:30, TV time. And then they have PC time, like computer time, to finish anything up they're working on until 9. So that goes until 9, 6 a.m. to 9. What is this? To 7. That's okay. I'd prefer it to go to 9, but it's okay if it doesn't. Okay, so I think in that case, I'll just write, you know, 7 to 9 PC time kind of thing. All right, and then if there's any appointments, where were we? This is gonna have been my scratch pad this week. If there's any appointments, then that will probably, let's say if there's a 2 p.m. appointment, I might circle it and say, you know, dentist kind of thing. And like leave a line open, not have that line through it. That's the idea, to give them kind of like a time blocking, because what is going on right now, they're getting older, they're older teenagers, and they're like, you didn't tell me I would have to do that at 11 a.m. kind of thing. So I'm really wanting to give them like an idea of when I expect them to do things. And then obviously if something needs to change, like if they have an appointment or a deadline, because they do things online, they have a deadline, we can work with some of the times and work it out. And then it could be also mentioned on here, like let's say there's a deadline, G1, my first son has a deadline at 4 p.m. I can put deadline type of thing, and then his brothers can come down and look and say, okay, that's why we're not doing something right now. We usually would be doing mom's list, but you know, our brother has a deadline type of thing. That's super long to explain, but that is how I'm gonna be using this for now. And it's gonna be on the counter like this, and I'll fill it out the night before and get it ready. So we do also, that goes with this, so this is boys, homeschool. This is gonna be their personal homeschool list, so they know what subjects they have, what they're gonna have to get done. I'm gonna have the details in here for myself to plan it out, and I'll just copy. Once I get this done, I'll just copy onto here, which is copying, but I don't mind it for this particular situation. And if it does get tedious, I can always not use this one and figure out something else to use this for. But I think it's gonna work out, we'll see. So this is a Laurel Denise Jo pop-up, flip-up planner, and we are gonna go to January here. I use this as a family command center, and you can see the difference between the space here. So I did use this as a homeschool planner very quickly. The writing was really small, and it just kind of looked like a blobbed together list when I did that. I don't think I have any of those weeklies in here because I took out my weeklies for a while. But let me check. Yeah, the weeklies are out. So of that. Okay, so then I started putting like just if events were happening that day, or like mom was gonna be gone, dad was gonna be, you know, things that were And then also like trash and dogs I put up there. I didn't love that either because they kind of glance at it, but they mostly look at what's going on here. Like if something's written here that they have to do, this is what they look at. So this is what we're gonna do instead for this pop-up planner. This is still gonna be their basic, like appointments and stuff are gonna be on here for a big picture. So they can look here and say, I have an appointment on the 14th, but then when they look on the day, they'll see it on the day too, okay? But it's a big picture. They can know when their dad is traveling, because that'll be marked off. They can know if there's a birthday in the family that they need to message somebody and say happy birthday to, or call somebody and say happy birthday to. That's what this is gonna be. Again, yeah, appointments, things like that. So that's what this monthly is gonna be. It's gonna be kind of like my main, but more geared towards them. So if it's a birthday that I need to remember, but they don't need to remember, it won't be on here. It'll only be on mine. And then this top part, I've been playing around with this and I'm thinking of doing, I used to do this, I think it's only been like a year and a half maybe, where I would put like these cycling type of calisthenics, which is workouts. This is one of these weeklies that I popped out. And so, and 3 checklists. So I'm gonna show you what I'm thinking, just so you can see. I just dropped that one and I don't know where it went, so we'll get a different one. Let's do, I don't really wanna do brown. So we'll do this green. 2 greens, fine. So for instance, for Sunday, I'm doing rows, 20 squats, you know, up and down the stairs, 50 steppers. Okay, this was a quick example. I would think these I will think these out more. And this is something that's not obvious. I am a certified personal trainer. I've just completely let myself go, but I do. So the point is I do know how to like set an exercise routine for them. So this is gonna be the first sun. It's gonna be that color. These are all too similar. We'll do different colors so you can see. We'll do this kind of red and maybe this orange. Okay, so here's orange and then we'll do it here too. So here's orange again, here's orange again. So they're gonna know second sun is always gonna be orange. My first sun is always gonna be this green. Okay, and this is gonna be really like a part, kind of like PE in a way, but they're really quick things. They're not things that are gonna take forever, like a full workout. And it's gonna be kind of on top of their workout, okay? So this weekly is gonna be up here. That's how I'm gonna do it. Different colors maybe, but kind of make it so. I'll put a key probably up here so they know whose color is whose. And then here I have a vitamin and outside. So actually the line will, where did I just put those? The line will actually come up to here. Vitamin and outside time. Okay. So on their day, when they come in, they can say, okay, yeah, I did the rows today. Check, check, check. I took my vitamins today, you know. Check, check, check. I was outside, you know, sunshine time. Touch grass, so they say. I did the squats. Okay, let's say they only did 10 squats. They can come in here and put 10 instead of the 20. You know, let's say they only did 25 stair steppers. They can put 25 here, type of thing. Okay, so then what it is a competition for them to compete with each other to get some of these extra things done on top of their other workouts and on top of their outside like type PE time. These things don't take that long. So to do 100 steps would really, on the stepper, would probably take 2 minutes, right? So these are really quick things. When I was their age in my late teens, I would do something. Like if I had some time, I was doing some dishes, I would stop and do like 10 squats. I was a maniac. Like if you saw me now and saw me then, it would be insane, right? So I'm gonna start doing some of this myself as well. And so I thought I'm gonna do it for them too, because they're at the time where they're supposed to be really active, really staying in shape, and this will help them into their 20s, late 20s, 30s, you know, if they get a really good foundation. Anyway, that's a lot of blah, blah, blah. But so this is what I'm gonna do in their pop-up planner. So birthdays that they need to remember, when their dad's traveling, any appointments they need to remember down here. You already have the holidays on here, so I might highlight these so they can see them a little better, because they're really, really written small and just kind of very subtle, which is good. Or I could put a sticker, like a holiday sticker, because I have some of those. And then I'm gonna put their workouts on here. And again, well, I did this on, let me see if I have it in here. I don't think I took this out, but maybe I did. November, right? So, okay, so in November, we kind of did this checklist at top here when they worked out. But you see how I was using it as like dad leaves, we're gonna Chick-fil-A breakfast, help mom, school and work. Like I was kind of doing like a small to-do. But on the top here, I was doing the workouts, and you can see my oldest son did not work out. Middle son and then youngest son. So it was kind of like this competition here, but even this is very unobtrusive, so it's hard to miss. So, and here my oldest son worked out once, 4 times for my second son, 4 times. So the oldest son is getting a little sucky there. So I really want him to get competitive, and I think seeing something like this, he might be able to get a couple of these done, and because it's quick, and at least he'll have some on there, and I think that'll help him stay motivated instead of just being blank, you know? So these were workouts is what this is up here, and this is how I was using it, just kind of as a list. So we're completely changing that now to this type of thing, and I'll choose better colors for them and set this up weekly. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain, but I am gonna also do it for me, which is here. This one's my section, and I'll show you that in a second. So for the boys, their school, homeschool, they're basically daily look at planner here. And then, so when they come down for breakfast, I'll just have them check the planners. I'm gonna put this on the same shelf that this one's on, and it's gonna be their check at planner. Okay, so they can check their workouts. I might also give them a whiteboard of what the day's stuff is and change that every day. We'll see how it goes, because you know time is a thing, but I really want to make an effort. And this can be the year that we just all really take better care of ourselves as a family. So that is the boys. As like side note. Okay, so then we talked about my work again. What we're gonna do. Also what I could do on here is schedule an exercise for myself, and then I have the wellness section, which will be exercise too. But for wellness, let's talk about that for me, because I have this one. So just on the same note as my kids, we talked about in my wellness what I was gonna do. So let's open that for a second. Well, let's finish Let's finish this section. This is the main section, and the last thing I have in here is a Passionate Penny Pincher planner, and it is a cleaning, essentially, planner where I have morning tasks, evening tasks, daily tasks, and then my own list. I don't know if all of this is gonna get done, but I do wanna put my own on here. These are relatively easy once you get in the habit to do the morning and evening. A lot of them you already do, like put away the dishes and prep dinner and all that stuff. And so it's a quick check, right? And you have 2 lines here that you put for the evening to add if you want to do something else. And then the daily things will be good to do, to complete, and then my own list of things that I want to get done. So that is the cleaning section, the main section. So these back planning pages for my main, I probably will put some, maybe just lists. Maybe I'll do general lists. I don't know. I'm not really sure, because I have a lot of space for other things. This could just be like a fun bullet journal, decorative, creative section. I did want to have that. I didn't want to get a whole bullet journal. I might do that because all of this other stuff is taken with ideas, with things. You know, I have plenty of space for everything else. So like I don't really need a work goals, because I can put that over here in my goals section. And then I can also move it to my goals planner. You know, so I don't really need cleaning goals, because I mean, really, the list is really all you need. So yeah, I might just use this as a bullet journal. I like that idea. So now I just got to figure out what the heck a bullet journal is, because I'm not really sure. This is a Happy Planner, do your own planner cover, and I'm gonna find something, clip it in, cut it out, clip it in, and slide it in here as this like make your own cute divider. It's still inspired by Jane's Agenda. Like this is really beautiful. This is the plum paper cover, And so I wanted something cute here as well. If I don't find that, I might just put the cleaning planner on the back in here and put a bookmark. I already have a bookmark, don't I? Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll just do that. Okay, because I was gonna get craft paper. I actually did buy craft paper and I took it back because it wasn't quite what I expected. I don't know what I did expect. So now we'll have the cleaning section in with the work section, which is fine. And I might find a Happy Planner divider, not divider, dashboard, just to kind of separate the two. But I do have the bookmark here. But I still want something to show that it's different. I could, yeah. Well, I have this divider. Yeah, that might be enough. Okay, so that's my main. That was a lot of talking from main. Let's really quickly, and well, we can finish up because this is the end. This is the journaling section, journaling planner. I usually put a grateful thing or a main thought for the day, like a memory for the day over here. I'm gonna write about the kids here because it's a little bit of a bigger space. Write about relationship here. What I do on this side here is if anything's still bothering me or I didn't quite have enough room to finish a thought, I will put like 1/1, like January 1, and put my thought, a little more of my thought. And I do usually box this off as well and do the same thing. But I haven't needed this section the last couple of months. I really needed it in October and November. So this could be just another bullet journal page. We'll see. We can do something fun with it. But that's, so this is journaling, kids, relationship. And then in here, this is another plum paper. Which this doesn't look super wintry. The florals do, but this kind of looks like fall to me, but it was in the winter seasonal section of plum paper covers. So I'm gonna take them at their word. In this, this is a Happy Planner front section. And I just want to do a grateful a day in here for my journaling. So here I do usually actually just put a thought of the day, like the main thing that happened. So if I went with my mom or the boys and I went somewhere, so I'll do a grateful a day here. And I love how cute this is with the colors. It's just a Happy Planner beginner pages from a 2023 planner. I don't care about the Friday, Saturday type thing. I'm just gonna do July 1st, July 2nd type of thing. And put a grateful a day. So I probably need a bookmark in there to start. I did glue these together, not very well. They're the old monthly perpetual, no, year at an overview type of thing. So let me see what this is. So I'm gonna put some type of bookmark in here for my gratefulness. I think this one can work. It's for a mini, but it'll work because it's scooted over a little. Okay, perfect. So a grateful a day marked, and then this is going to be my main journal. And the reason is it's just a little more room than this section because if you've seen my videos before, I used to do my main here. I wanted to do the kids here and then main, relationships in here, but this is way too big to write for relationships. I don't want to even, I just want like a little note about it. So this will be main now. And then this section here, notes. I don't know, it could be like a quick memory, which is similar to what I'm going to be doing over here. So we'll see, but there's plenty of space. And I didn't want a full journal, it's just too much. I think even with all of these sections, it's not quite a page of a journal. It could be a page of like a very small journal. But that way I can do a little like brain dump, thought dump, maybe emotion dump type thing and get it out. And that's the last planner in here. And then all I have back here is a dashboard from Happy Planner and this sticky note dash that I made out of a Laurel Denise box. And then all of my holiday stickers back here, which I may not keep all of these back here all year. Okay, so let's close this up because we're going to talk about a couple of other things. Actually, we're not gonna close it up. We're gonna open it to wellness. Okay, so here's wellness. So we went over what I'm gonna have in here. It's very much like, it's a very detailed kind of look at my food really, and then some tracking things. But what I wanna do on this one, so I said family wellness at first, but this is gonna be only my wellness. So, because I did the boys on the other pop-up planner. So this is another pop-up planner from Laurel Denise Jo. And what I want to do here, this one starts in January. I have this whole section. This is going to be only like exercise and movement. Like I was saying, when I was younger, I used to just do 10 squats or leg lifts or something, push-ups off the wall or push-ups on the floor if I had a quick minute. Just constant type of movement and muscle building. So that can be some of these goals here, because this is going to be focused only on that, this entire planner. Reason is, when I have a list like this, and my little example for myself is here. So that was the boys. Here will be mine. And I'm going to highlight this one in purple, and I just have like a little check. So every day, and I can rotate colors for the day and just like make like a little pretty pattern. Okay. So I have an entire list of things that I want to try to do throughout the day. It's a lot. So I might use 2 lines at first instead of writing 1 per line. Use 2 lines at first, and that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna always leave the last line for stretch. So 4 things to do additionally, and then stretch, or 8 things to do additionally, and then stretch at the bottom. Up here I have vitamins, and I'm choosing a topic here. And then each week I wanna do 1 self-care focus. Like, the reason I'm doing this is because I've had things on the list for so long in my self-care. I put it every month on my goals for self-care and I don't get it done. So anyway, vitamins up here, and we'll do a color. So hold on, we're kind of talking not straight. I'm not focused. Give me a second here. Okay, so an example. So here's gonna be self-care, and then I will go and check off for the day. You know, if I did these down here, okay, did I do arm pumps? This is a really messy pen. For Sunday, did I do vitamins? Did I do my self-care? For Monday, did I do vitamins? Did I do my self-care? So this is what I'm thinking of this example. Now, for self-care, for this example, I chose feet. For instance, exfoliating, a foot soak, making sure I lotion them, paint them, pedicure type thing. I've had this on my list for a really long time, and I haven't done it because it's not been a main focus. I just have a whole list of things, and I really haven't done any of them, which is kind of annoying. So I could do face. And face, I could do like a face roller, maybe a face mask. So every week I'm gonna have something self-care, 1 kind of focus, maybe hands, maybe a manicure, give myself a manicure, which I definitely need. I need all of it. I can do stomach, where I can roll my stomach, lotion my stomach. I have cupping, like cupping I can do for my stomach, thighs, anything. So I'm gonna have a body part basically there for self-care that I'm gonna focus on. I could write in really small. I only have my pencil here. So let's say for feet, I did a soak on Monday. So I could write soak, right? For Sunday, I mean. For Monday, I could write, you know, I would scoot this over and make it work a little more lined up. For Monday, I could do, you know, lotion. Tuesday, I could do exfoliate type of thing. Okay, so I could put specific things on there. I know that's really hard to see in the pencil, but I could put specific things on there up in this section and then check it off when it's done. Or, and I do want to do that because I want to know what I did. So that's the idea. So it is like really quick self-care with 1 body part, vitamins, because I do not remember to do those every day. And this is going to be popped up on my desk. So I'm going to see it all the time. And then this is going to be like my rotation of types of workouts. And I have, let's see what I have here. 20 squats. I could do those in sets of 5 if I want to. 10. I could do all 20. 10. What does that say? Rear lifts, which is kind of like a back kick in a way, but it's like a lift where you use a little more muscle. So 10 each side would be arm pumps, or, you know, just your arm pumps, but to the back. kind of like when you're doing 100 in Pilates. So anyway, so I'm gonna put a list of items that I wanna do on top of my workout. Then on the daily section of the monthly, I wanna put what my main workout is. It will also be written here. So Friday, I think I'm gonna wait and write what I do instead of what I wanna do, you know? Or maybe here I plan, yeah, here I might write what I want to do on top and then what I actually do below. And then on this, I'm gonna write what I actually do. So if it's like cardio, if it's a walk, if it's Pilates, whatever it is, I'm gonna write on here. So that is the idea. And I'm gonna pop this back in here as my example. So when I come to get this ready, I kind of know what I'm doing. And I should have put the boys in theirs too. So I clipped this out from a previous week that I did not finish from the academic planner. I don't know what month it was. It could have been July because I didn't get it until the end of July or maybe early August. So it's just an extra week that I had. So that's my example page. And that's how every month it's gonna be. Every day I'm gonna do something extra. And some days I know myself, I may only get, say the squats or something, the arm pumps done. But this is the problem. Right now I'm getting nothing done. No workout, no arm pumps, no squats, nothing. So I feel like I've done nothing physically fit for myself, and I hate that feeling. It's very discouraging. So at least here I can have maybe some of these checked out. So even if I didn't do a main workout, and I know this is kind of like a scapegoat, but then again, it's some is better than nothing, you know, kind of thing. So at least I'll have these done. And also if you're doing some of these, and like I could do this like in between folding clothes, I can do a couple squats. In between putting the laundry in, I can do some side knees, things like that. It does keep your body moving and working muscles all throughout the day. You will have to stretch at the end at night. And let's say I did all 20 squats at once, I would do a very quick stretch as well. So it is still kind of getting some type of workout in, although not a very dedicated workout. So my point is, some is better than none. And I think it'll be less discouraging to see some of these checked off. And they can be done anywhere. When you work out, you have to kind of like set that chunk of time aside, and you can't fold the laundry. So setting that time completely aside for workout is important, but these are just things that can help boost the metabolism, get the muscles challenged and working throughout the day. So this is how every week is gonna look. And I will share this again on the channel so you can see how it's going. We're gonna set this up in a future video. So again, we said this isn't gonna be a setup video because I'm talking way too much, gals. Way too much. Okay. So we made it through all the sections of my planner. So you can kind of see what everything is. We talked about the boys' wellness and pop-up family command center planner. We talked about my pop-up movement planner only. And then everything else is going on. This is the one thing we haven't talked about. Well, we did talk about the half letter size planner that's going to be for the boys. And they have an academic Laurel Denise right now. They have a mini horizontal. So they have a Laurel Denise horizontal right now where they have the monthly here. It's not decorated. And then they just have their lists here. And they do like seeing the whole month. I am thinking of taking them to the half letter size with plum paper in the academic year. If there is another sale at plum paper sometime soon, I will grab them, and I'm thinking quad layout for them in the plum paper Sunday start. So, okay, so the last thing, no, not the last thing, one of the last things, this is the next thing I want to talk about. This is a Happy Planner card organizer. It actually reminds me of Laurel Denise, how you have like the card pocket down here and then all this, you know, up here, right? But this thing was on super sale. I'm really considering this, but I'm not sure, as a perpetual type calendar, which Laurel Denise just came out with a perpetual calendar. People are loving it. If you want to check out the link below, use the code TAMBER10 to get 10% off. You can check out her perpetual calendar. It looks super cute. I have my planners. I'm not buying anything else. But I was thinking of maybe cutting this down to 9 disc, and I'll show you. And the reason I'm thinking of putting this separate, because I have my main section where I can kind of do this, But if I have this for the whole year, in the back here, okay, so I have to cut like after this purple. So cut like right here, and I can have this go into every monthly, or I guess after January, I don't need it anymore, January's anymore. But I'll keep all of the year in January, and then when January's gone, I'll pull it out and just keep for February on. I can keep it in if I want to look back. And it's just anniversaries, birthdays, things like that, that I can have as like a list here. I could also completely change it from birthdays and such and just make it like a functional one. I don't know. I'm still considering this. So what I would be doing is only pulling out the dividers. They're all super cute. I won't be using the folders. This is meant to put cards in it so that you have a birthday, you open January, check, and you have a birthday on the 6th. You grab a card for whoever it is, get it ready to mail and mail it. And you have both side pockets. So it's a really great idea. I love it. Here's February. The dividers are super cute. They all have to do with food. You know, March, etc. So, I mean, we don't have to flip through all of this. I mean, I guess I'll just flip through. The folders match the dividers. And so I wouldn't need the folders for the actual cards, but look how pretty that one is. That is beautiful. Scones, very nice. Yeah, really cute. This thing is really nice for everything that it comes with, and even the really cute gold, highly glittered discs are really fun. So I'm thinking anyway of taking all the dividers out and just having the lists. We'll see, because I don't need it right now. So I have that over here just to show it, because I could add that into my planner for this year. And then the last thing we're going to talk about, I'm going to look at this little thing here, is if you've seen my previous videos, you knew I had a really hard time choosing to go away from the Laurel Denise small, because it's just so fun and cute. I loved it in December. I really want to use it, but I only purchased Laurel Denise large for 2026. So one of the things I'm going to be doing on my channel this year is setting up, because I took advantage of the discount on Laurel Denise 2025 planners, and I have said in my previous videos that it was kind of like a planner hack where you buy them on clearance, then you just have to redate them, and you can have this really great planner for like, I mean, the clearance planner was $20. Their main planner is it 55, I think? So you're getting like 35 off, less than half. So I grabbed quite a few of them on clearance. And what I wanted to start doing this year is once a month, grab the whole kind of setup for and redate it for 2027. So then in 2027, I know this sounds like anticlimactic and kind of like boring in a way, because everybody loves to see new planners, like the newest launches. And I know it's also going to cost me like some views, because again, everybody wants to see the newest planners. I was on the planner buying craze for quite a while because I couldn't figure out a planner that worked perfectly for my brain. But now that I have figured it out with the Laurel Denise planners, I don't need to try an Erin Condren, or I know I have inserts in here for plum paper or whatever, but I don't need to try other planners. A lot of them are basically similar, right? Laurel Denise is the only one that's like so different. Like, I mean, maybe you guys know a different one that's incredibly different, but like, for instance, you get an Erin Condren vertical. Vertical is similar to a Happy Planner vertical, is similar to a plum paper vertical. It's similar, you know, there might be slight differences. And the Laurel Denise vertical is a line vertical, still similar to a vertical, but it has these sections where you can see the monthly at all times and the kind of list at all times, monthly list at all times. So now that I know that this is working best for my brain, after trying way too many planners, so many annoyingly planners, I know I want to stay with Laurel Denise. Okay, yes, things can change because this is the beginning of 2026, but I don't see anything changing. And the mini I just love so much. So what I want to do, this is the whole point, that was like my precursor explaining, because I know it sounds crazy. I'm gonna start setting up January 2027 in January 2026. So I set up January 2026 in the Laurel Denise. I'm just gonna take that and redate it for January 2027. I don't have that planner out here right now. I already packed it, so I had to go unpack it. But I used those banker boxes that you take the lid off, so it'll be fine. So I'll go find that, and I'm going to redate it for 2027, because in 2027, I want to use the mini. I really wanted to use it in 2026, but I'm gonna use it for 2027. Then I will be using, so for Happy Planner, I really got rid of all of my classic size. I might have like 2 or 3 planners left from classic size. And I'm talking from 2020, 2018, 2019, 2020. All of those planners went donated, my classic size. I was kind of regretting it, but I am happy to have plum paper. For one, I've never used them, but for 2, I could choose a Sunday Start. And that's the one thing that bugs the craziness out of me. Happy Planner is always a Monday Start, although this one's a Monday Start. But for every planner of Happy Planner, I would have to change to Sunday, just because I personally need a Sunday Start. So I donated all those planners. Laurel Denise allows a Sunday Start, so does Plum Paper. But I do have Happy Planner minis. So do I have one in here? I do. So what I'm gonna do, I did not finish, I'm gonna look at this side. These are just my work of finding 2027, which months work with what. So I can show you this side. This is my journal side. Okay, so I did change it to a Sunday Start. We'll flip this one over because I didn't finish this week's journaling. Actually, this is next week anyway. It goes to January 3rd. So I changed it to a Sunday Start. What I'm gonna do is do the same thing, change all of my Happy Planner minis to Sunday Start. I'm going to use my Happy Planner minis as inserts and supplements into the Laurel Denise mini, and I'm going to get it all ready for 2027. So come January 2027, it won't be super exciting for the reveal to know what I'm going to use, but I'm going to have January all on discs, all ready. You know, I have plenty of bookmarks, dated, redate, separated, and what I will do in January 2027 is come and choose like the little journaling cards. I'll come and choose the dividers, how I'm gonna decorate the dividers. So that's what I'll do in 2027, or probably December 2026, honestly. And I know this is really far ahead, and it's like, why think that far ahead? But I wanna know that I have it ready in 2027 to help myself not binge buy, because what I was saying is I'm definitely gonna buy Laurel Denise Mini in 2027, but I'm like, oh, I have Laurel Denise Mini. So if I redid it ahead of time, the thing that kept me from using it this month was every month that I would go in, I'd have to redate 10 times before I could use it. Now what I'm thinking, I'm still gonna redate 10 planners for 2027, but I won't have to redate them before I use them. I can sit there and just do redating with a record on or something, and have it ready for 2027. It won't be like every month I'm gonna have to redate. And actually there are a few months, because you can see back here, that I won't have to redate. That was true for 2026 too. I didn't really think that over, but from May to December, I don't have to redate in 2027 because I'm using 2025 Laurel Denise planners. So from May to December 2027, I don't have to redate. I just have to move around the months, and then I'll have to white out the holidays. But the first 4 months, I do have to redate of 2027. So actually that'll be nice. But then what I'll do is just come in and white out the holidays, change March from 2025 to May, April to June, that kind of thing. So the first 4 months will be pretty intense and busy. And it was the same with this year. I think there were like 9 months I didn't have to redate of Laurel Denise. But then it's the Happy Planner on top of that, changing it to Sunday and then dating it, then redating the monthlies too. So we're gonna get all of that ready ahead of time in 2027. It's gonna be 1 video a month, I hope, where I'm kind of doing some of it. I may not do all of it on camera. And then we'll do a flip through when it's done. And that'll be 2027. And then for 2028, girls, I know, what the heck am I thinking? But because again, I know I love Laurel Denise planners, they work the best for my brain. And I also took advantage of their sale for the large Laurel Denise. Unless I absolutely hate it, this year and like just am biding my time and waiting to get to the mini. I'm kind of thinking by 2028 my eyes are going to be worse and I may not want a mini anymore. That's why I want to hurry up and get it in, because some of these things I have to write really small for. We'll see. So unless I really want to stay with the mini in 2028, my next idea is to get 2028 set up in the large, because I did buy enough. I don't know if it's enough. I'll check. I have quite a few large Laurel Denise, most of them at the $20 price I bought for the covers and to use as extra inserts. But I could also just make them into 2028 planners. So I think I'm going to set that up. And then the only thing will be, what are my inserts going to be for 2027? It's going to be all my minis from 2020. So I have minis from 2020 that I'm going to use for 2027. I think that's going to be cute and fun and practical. Then for 2028, I don't have a lot of classics. I'll check and see what I have, and then I might just buy plum paper again in 2028. And I know this is way ahead, gals. Like, why am I even talking about this? But I might do some half letter plum paper in 2028 and just have it like a little more. Now I can see through Friday on my calendar. And in the classic plum paper, and I kind of wish I had done the half letter plum paper this year, but I wasn't sure, gals. And the classic covers till Wednesday. So the half letter would give me 2 more days showing as inserts. So I think I'm gonna go half letter plum paper inserts in 2028. And then Laurel Denise 2025 redated big, large planner like this. For 2028, the wrap, like I was saying earlier, where it wraps around my inserts. Yeah, that's all I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about way too much. I've been planning and thinking about way too much. And part of it is because I'm decluttering and I have to get rid of things that I'm not going to use. So if I say I'm going to use them, I get to keep them. But also, I don't see myself going away from Laurel Denise. I tried, and I think I made it like a week. I've only been using her since July, and this is December, so 5 months. But oh my goodness, I just love the monthly. I love seeing it. It makes so much sense. I don't have to flip and see when my husband's coming home. I don't have to flip and see when his work trip is. It's right there. So any appointments, same thing. All right, gals. So I guess this video was just kind of introducing half letter for my kids, and you know, we'll see if they stop looking at it. I don't know. I could actually always redate this for 2028. That's like a way big stretch. Because you could just say January and turn it to the 8. It's still the first day of 365. It's still New Year's Day. That would be pretty easy to do. Yeah, so that could be an option. You really only have to change the year. Oh, and maybe Wednesday, yeah. So 2 things to change. So this could be my half letter daily, although I really do like the plum paper. If it doesn't work out as that, it could also just be a little notepad. So introducing the pop-up planners as our fitness and then main schedule for the boys, family, command, my wellness. Really not wellness, I should say physical fitness with 1 self-care. And then my big planner where I sit down every night and I look at this and I write everything that happens. I plan for the next day and get it ready. And we'll do some videos on how I plan on my planner in an upcoming series after we get it all set up. Okay, so that is it for this video. Just talking about, it was gonna be a setup video, now it's just talking about what is new and what is not really changing, but what's being added and how I'm switching around how I'm using a couple things. That is it for this really long video. So check back and we will just jump right in and start decorating and setting up, because it is Wednesday the 24th, December 24th. So I have just a couple days before I need to start using my planner. So I have a lot to do to get them ready. So stay tuned for all of that. Thanks so much for joining me today on Tamper with the Plan. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.